Good morning, class. Today we are going to do something really fun with oil pastels. For this project, you have to use oil pastels, but you can also use crayons because you need the waxy makeup of the pastels or the crayons in order to do this project, but it will work best with oil pastels. So the ones I'm using are just very inexpensive Crayola oil pastels. They're really easy to find, and I just wanted to make sure we did a project today that everyone could do regardless of what supplies they had. So for our project today, we need watercolor paper. You can also use just printer paper or plain paper. This will work best because you have to push really hard on it, but again, you can use whatever you have. You'll need oil pastels and a pencil. So we need 2 sheets of watercolor paper. And I ripped them out, and you can see they both have this kind of raw edge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take them and I'm gonna flip the top one upside down and then put this one away. So we're just gonna work on this one first, and then we'll see what happens. So the cool thing about this project is it is completely creative. From the beginning to the end, you are the artist and you get to decide how you wanna do it and how you wanna lay it out. So we're gonna take our oil pastels. Pick any color you want. I just try to grab bright colors. So you just start by basically coloring in a section of your paper. Again, for this, you need a waxy oil pastel or crayon, and I'm just gonna push really hard. The key with this is that you don't want any white showing through. So I'm actually pushing really hard, and I did this earlier and it made my hand really tired. So I had to walk away from it a couple times. So that's why I'm using a small piece of paper. You can also cut a big piece of paper in half and use half and half because your hand will get tired from pushing down so hard. So you can see we have no white, and then I'll just put this one away in my box and I'll go to the next color. And so you can do this any way you want. You can do squares, you can do circles, you can just do random places of coloring. You can do different shapes. So we can do a triangle here. You can layer your colors. You can do anything you want because it is your art. All right. You will have to move your paper around quite a bit because you're pushing down so hard that it will start to wrinkle your paper. So you just have to kind of use the pushing to keep it in line. Again, you can see there's no white spots, and I'm pushing down really hard. You can see when I bring it up close to the camera how hard I'm pushing, that it's making all these flakes. And let's do some more green over here. And I think I'll do another triangle. I kind of like that. And we're just going to keep coloring until the whole paper is covered, and then we'll go to step 2. This is nice because it's a fun project that you can do. It's actually a little bit like scratch art at the end. So you'll see what we're going to do, and we're going to pull the colors off of this and make it really cool. So let's put this one away. And blue. I think I will do some blue right here in the middle. I'm just a shape person, so I'm just using shapes to break it up. But again, you can just do really scribbles. You can hold a whole pile of them in your hand and scribble all at once and make a big rainbow across it. You can do anything you want as long as you're pushing down hard and not leaving any white spots. Because anywhere you have white spots, you won't be able to bring the color over to the other paper. But you can see, again, I'm pushing down really hard. I'm basically shaving my poor little pastel. Okay. All right. Let's see. So we're just going to keep on coloring till this is all covered. And where they blend, where the sections meet, you need to make sure that you don't leave any white space. That's really the only rule of this. And you can see I got some blue on here. It's fine. There's no way to mess up this project. You really, if you have a younger sibling, sister or brother, you could even give this to them and ask them to color it in. And they can cover it, and then you can make a piece of art out of it, which would be pretty fun. And we just want to make sure it's really thick where they meet and that we don't leave any white. Oh, my hand's already getting tired. Now, because purple's my favorite, I'm actually going to do 2 spots of purple because I really like it. The key is also that you want to use dark colors. You don't want to use any colors that are too light. So I'm actually going to use this yellow, but I'm only going to put it up here in this corner, and you'll see why in a few minutes. And I'm going to add some orange to it just to darken it a bit. Okay, just knocking off some of this extra. And I'm going to take this orange in here, and I'm just going to go over the edge of this. All right, so I'm just going to keep on moving this over, turning it around, and coloring it in. Making sure there's no white spots, making sure we have bright colors, and it's very thick. Oh, I just broke my pastel. Snapped right in my hand, but that's okay. Okay. All right, I actually used this blue on my other pastel that I made, my pastel art that I made, and it didn't come through dark enough, so I'm gonna grab a different color blue. This is kind of a teal blue, and I'll just put it right here. Not too close to our other blue, but just give us some more color diversity here. And again, you don't have to draw this with shapes. You can do anything you want because nobody's going to see this. This is all going to be hidden. Let's see. I think I'm going to grab orange and do some over here by the green. This is also a great way to get rid of using up the ends of your pastels. So when you get down to the point where you just have little nubs, or if they're broken pieces, you can use those broken pieces until they're gone and just make these really dark shapes or coloring, and we can make our art out of it. All right, so again, we want dark colors. They just tend to come through the best. Let's see, we'll do some more red here. This is a darker red. And we're just going to keep pushing down You can even make this striped across if you just want to use 2 colors, or if you only have 2 pastels that, you know, are broken apart and that you need to use up. You don't have to use this many colors, but I just wanted to show you what you can make. You can see I'm running out of places to hold my paper without getting pastels all over my hands. These things are great, but they are very messy. And we're just gonna make sure we push really hard. I keep breaking my pastels and make sure there's no white. Okay, I'm just gonna tap this off again. All right, so we need 2 more. So I'm gonna take this light green, because that came through really nice, and put it over here. And maybe some more pink. All right, so when you're finished, you just want to tap off the excess. You can kind of very gently wipe and just tap it off. And I'm going to clean up all of this workspace, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've washed my hands and cleaned my workspace. The pastels are pretty messy, so I just wanted to clean up before I made my final piece. So here is what we made. This is just very thickly drawn. You can see there's still flakes on there, that's fine. If there are huge flakes, like I see one right here, you'll wanna knock them off onto your counter, because you won't be able to draw with them there. They'll be in the way of your drawing. Also, we all have different skills, and my skill is not drawing. My skill is painting, so I'm not great at drawing, but you guys can use your creativity to draw something really beautiful. So I'm going to take this, and you can see I've got my clean one underneath, and I'm just gonna flip it over, okay? And then you just line up your pieces, and we've got our piece that we colored on top, line them up, and then very carefully use your pencil to imprint our chalk pastel, our oil pastels, onto our paper. So I'm just gonna do a very basic drawing so you can kind of see the idea. And the first thing I'm gonna draw is a sun, which is why I added those kind of sun colors here. So again, drawing is not my specialty, but we're just gonna push down pretty hard. And you can do something really cute, like fill it like a doodle drawing. You can fill it with different shapes, or you can do a line drawing inside, or you can just, you know, kind of shade it in with your pencil. But you just want to do a nice imprint of what's underneath. So I just thought I'd kind of doodle in here to fill it in, okay? And then I'm going to add 3 tulips. So I'm gonna put a stem, and a stem. So I've got my first tulip here, and again, I'm pushing down really hard. The harder you push down, the better you're going to do and push in your beautiful colors from above. So, and I'm just gonna, let's see, maybe just do a little bit of a doodle inside, just so we can see the different colors pop through. Okay, so there's my little tulip. And I'll do another one here. And again, you don't have to do a doodle in here. You can do anything you want. I just thought it would be a cute way to show the colors underneath. You can do anything. And then I will do a pretty big one here that will go behind this other one. Here we go. And let's see. Okay, so I've got my tulips. Now I'm going to flip this over just for ease, and I'm going to do some grass. And I'm basically just going to scribble my grass in. You can take your time and draw very intricate and delicate grass. I just want to make sure we finish in time for our live help session. So I'm just going to do very basic grass. And again, you can see I'm holding my papers together. I don't want the bottom one to move. You can also tape them both down if you want. It's up to you. I just didn't pull out any tape, so I'm just gonna hold them. But I'm pushing down really hard. You can see that I'm making quite a racket here with my ink. So, next thing is we'll add some beautiful leaves. Just make sure you poke in pretty hard. And I have seen some beautiful work from you guys. So I can't wait to see how you are gonna make these flowers your own. Or draw a house, draw a landscape, draw a car, anything you want. You can make it seasonal. You can put Valentine's stuff in here. You can make your mom a card. Anything you like. So once we're done, maybe we'll put a little cloud in the back. Just fill up some white space. And again, pushing in really hard. And maybe a little bird in the background here. All right, so once we're finished, we're gonna very carefully lift off the top. And you can see our imprint came through, and you can see our drawing. So it's a pretty fun way to do art. It's almost like scratch art, but it's just the opposite. And the other cool thing about this is you can actually take another piece of watercolor paper. And I will show you real quick. And you can reuse this again. Push this one up here. I can reuse this again. I can draw right on top of this and write, I love art. You can do anything you want. And look how fun that is. It looks like a rainbow. So you can reuse the paper several times, as long as you just don't pay attention to what you've written before. You can just write right over it, and you can redraw and redraw until there's nothing left. So it's a pretty fun project and a great way to use up your broken art supplies. So I'm really glad you guys could come today, and I'm really looking forward to our next project in 2 weeks. See you then. Bye.